You're about to learn how to make a pattern in Photoshop. Let's get started. So first, let's go ahead and I'm going to open up my new canvas. I'm going to do File, New. And then this canvas that I'm going to do, let's just make it 500 by 500. Press Create at the bottom. So now that I have my canvas, what I need in order to make a pattern is bring in some sort of image or some sort of texture. You could use shapes, that's one option, but what we're gonna do is actually use the brush art example that I created. And so we made this together using our own custom brush. And so now that I have this first leaf, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create some duplicates and I'm gonna place them all around. So first I'm gonna make this one smaller. So I'm gonna do Control T and then bring it down. I think that's pretty good. And so let's place that right there. And then I'm gonna do Alt on my keyboard and I'm going to go Control T, bring it down as a smaller size. And this size, once I have Control T on, I can do flip horizontally. Something like that is fine. And now I have another option to do Control. I can do Alt on my keyboard and just bring it up. We can make a couple smaller versions of this as well. So I'm going to do Alt and then I'm going to do Control T, flip it back horizontally. I'm going to scale it down and I'm just going to move these around a little bit. Something kind of like this, like that. Something like this, and then just one more. Okay, so right about there is fine for this pattern. So now what we need to do is we need to merge all of these layers. So I go to the top, I go to the bottom of the layers, I right click and I'm gonna do merge layers. Okay, now that I have all of these merged, what I'm gonna do is pay attention. I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna come to my filter. And then I'm going to come down to Other. And then I'm going to come down here to Offset. And I'm going to click that. And so now it automatically made it so that it says 300 by 400. I'm going to change this to a different number. Because my canvas is 500 by 500. I'm going to do 250 by 250. And then press OK. So now that my offset is set, all that I need to do is I'm going to use my lasso tool right here, and I'm going to lasso this leaf. There we go. So I just made a lasso around this leaf, and I'm just going to copy it, paste it, and then what I'm going to do with this leaf is I'm going to transform it to be the other direction. So I'm going to go Control T and flip it horizontally. And I'm going to bring it down here and I'm going to fill it in here. And then I'm also going to press Alt on my keyboard, bring this up and make sure that it doesn't go over on the side. That's important. And then I'm going to also fill this one in right here. So I'm going to press Alt again, something like this. And now that I have this, and I think this is good enough, what do I need to do in order to make this into a pattern? Well, I will tell you. You come up here to the left and you go to Edit, and then you come down here to Define a Pattern. So I have to come out a little bit. Right here, Define Pattern. Click on Define Pattern, and I'm gonna make this pattern called leaves. Okay. And now that we have created that, what I'm going to have you do is come up here to File, New. And now we're going to open up a really big canvas, something that is obviously much bigger than what we started off with. So this one is 9,000 by 9,000, which is a really big difference in how big it is. So I'm going to zoom in a bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to duplicate this layer. Press OK. And now what I can do is I can go up here and I can do edit. So I went to edit and then I came down here to fill. So now that I have fill, I can select our custom pattern that we just did. Select it. It's called leaves and then press OK. And now I can zoom in a lot and we have a ton of this custom leaf pattern that we just created. And obviously it is endless and seamless as can be, just like that. So you just learned how to create your own custom pattern in Photoshop. Great job. You are now an expert at making patterns in Photoshop. I will see you in the next lecture.